Hey there everybody, Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CarterMatt.com.
This video is our Expanse first viewing reaction for Season 3, Episode 8, entitled It Reaches Out! It's the 90s horror B-movie title for the Expanse.
Yes, it is.
Who doesn't love anything more than creepiness? Miller, who seems to have gained a permanent hat and lost whatever little thing of hair that he had.
I'm glad the hat is back. Miller!
We're doing that again?
No, I'm not going to do that in every video.
Alright, well...
Don't worry, guys, it's not happening in every video.
Well, we'll talk about that. Talk about odd, just interesting character relationships. What is going on with Melba? What's going on with creepy camera guy? We got a lot of things to break down. But before we do anything else, if you like this video, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. I guess the top story here is the Rossi makes it into the ring? Question mark? Sort of. It enters its territory.
Yeah, and they haven't all turned into piles of goo.
Are we looking at something just kind of interesting here where does the ring get to choose who it wants to incinerate on some level? I mean, given that his name was Neo, it's kind of ironic that apparently he was not the one who was able to go through there, but instead it's the Rossi where they're like, I'll allow it, I guess.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I guess in some ways it kind of makes sense. This crew has been around since all of this kicked off. Maybe it feels that it's developed some sort of relationship with them on some level. We do have Miller who's reaching out, as you're saying.
Yeah.
And I wanted to think that maybe he was kind of just a hallucination or a conscience on his shoulder kind of thing. But it feels like the protomolecule is using someone familiar, someone that Holden likes and has a respect for, to reach out and be able to communicate somewhat with the Rossi. I still don't know how this is possible, but that's obviously because... I don't even care.
Well...
I don't know how it's possible either, and I'm sure they're going to explain it, but I'm just so happy that Miller is back. And even in this new version of him that's kind of a little bit strange, it's not exactly the way that Miller was. He's still so good. He's a cool character. He's so well acted. I just really am enjoying this.
You know what was fun about this? I mean, it's obviously not this. It's obviously Thomas Jane is back doing this character, but it felt like the way that he was doing it at first, it almost seemed as though the Expanse was just able to, like, unearth some archival footage of Miller, like, saying some of the stuff that he would say on, like, series, and they were just replaying it over and over again to drive Miller insane, but... yeah, it's obviously not proto-poisoning as I once thought because Holden went through like 2,000 tests on himself.
Yeah, and it was interesting because Miller said something along the lines of that he keeps being sent out and then like killed and then rebuilt and sent back out and then taken apart and then rebuilt and sent back out, which we know it does happen with the protomolecule in general. It seems to disassemble and reassemble stronger or to get a different reaction or get something different to happen.
Yeah.
So that was really sad to hear that. I don't like the idea that Miller's being killed over and over again, or he's being disassembled over and over again and brought back. I know he's not necessarily alive.
Yeah.
But sort of.
There's obviously an element of Miller there. I don't think this is just the protomolecule, like, creating their own Miller that doesn't actually have any of Miller's DNA.
Yeah, because we saw with Julie way back when Miller found her that she's still in there. So I feel like I want to feel that Miller is still there, and it feels kind of like he is. He's giving information that the protomolecule seems to want to give, but he's also kind of giving some information that it feels like he wants to give.
The good news is obviously that Miller is really responsible for giving Holden the right advice one way or another to ensure that nobody on the crew dies, but it happens amidst, like, just all of this terrible stuff that is going down with them.
Yeah, and they did focus back on that little bit of proto-molecule that's on the ship underneath while Miller was talking. So I don't know if he's trying to warn him that it's there, or if that's what the proto-molecule's using as like a vessel to bring Miller in there. Yeah. It's all very confusing at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think
but it's interesting because I feel like it's connected in some kind of way, as all the pieces aren't there yet.
It's intriguing. I mean, I don't know if we're meant to have an answer right now, but that's fine, because nobody on the Rossi has any answers either, and instead we just have all these concerns about Holden losing his mind,
and the timing of him losing his mind feels like it is not a coincidence. It is all kind of worked out for this sabotage that even his own crew is not 100% sure if he did this or not, because he is acting so erratically. So has this whole thing been a giant ploy to get the Rossi to the ring?
It's possible, so that this would be the only way, I guess, to ensure that it would happen would be to make them feel like this was their only option, the only place they had to go, because after what happened to Neo, I sure wouldn't get close to the ring anymore. So,
no.
Okay, are you ready to put on your detective hats? We gotta get our Miller, bowler hats here. Just, put them on.
Fedora?
Yeah, fedora. I don't know what hats are. Okay, so you put on the hats, and then, alright, let's look at the suspects. Who is responsible for this message coming out? I think we have
Melba.
Yeah, suspect number 1, Melba. Who I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're doing.
What a cool, interesting character, though. It is so strange because I've never really seen a character like this that is doing terrible things to people that she has respect for and is crying, and you can see how much it's ripping her up. It is really cool to see a character like this. I'm really interested in her. I'm liking her.
Yeah, like, she's not a super villain. I mean, yeah, she has some element of superpowers, but it's not like something...
Well, and she's doing terrible things. She crushed his head.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel as though she's just like, on the other side of it. Like, she is...
No.
Like, genuinely sad about it, and she just, like, goes through all that effort to hide the body, including, like, crushing the bones a little bit at one point. It's quite a show, but, I mean, the real question here is, who would be motivating her? My theory is if she is some sort of, like, proto-enhanced human being that has some sort of proto-molecule connection, maybe that sort of guiding her to do these specific things, because maybe the sabotage that she does is in some ways meant to deliver this message or have this message happen.
Well, yeah, because it feels all connected to the filmmaker on the Rossi as well, because he switched out that panel, and then all of a sudden everything was kind of connected to everything. And he's got blue veins happening over there. I saw it a couple times. It's kind of flashed down his arm, and I wasn't sure if it was proto-molecule, if it was something else, but I saw it happen, so something is going on here.
Creepy camera guy was my other suspect here, because obviously there's something going on despite him just having the hots for Amos. There's like a little bit of there's an undercurrent of something sinister.
And I'm not even 100% sure that he does have the hots for him anymore. He got caught in Alex's panel, and all of a sudden he's like... So, I'm going to try this one more time.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be
Don't look over here where I was fiddling around with the panel. Let's do this instead.
It is interesting that he did kind of get one over on Amos. It's like, Amos, I don't know if he's just so transfixed on, like, why is this guy so into me? But it's just, he's not actually seeing what he's really up to, and instead is just trying to, like, get him to go on a treadmill and stop, like, sleepwalking throughout the ship.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of strange, too, because Amos is a smart guy.
Yeah.
And he's pretty perceptive, so I was a bit surprised that worked.
Yeah, and my guess is, I think, if I'm just to try to get into Amos's head for a minute, which is a dangerous proposition in the first place, but I think what's probably going on is I think he has so little respect for this camera crew because he's just thinking, okay, these idiots are just here to profit off of us, to interrupt our work. I don't like them. They're trying to get with me. I'm not into that.
They're stealing my private moments.
Yeah.
I'm on your side with this, Amos.
I mean,
I'm still not into this storyline. I get why it's there and it's working into other things. But these moments that they're stealing are really crawling under my skin.
Yeah, and clearly everything is crawling under Amos's skin. He's not about this life, and I think he's just so transfixed on that, he's not really considering the possibility that they might be up to some other sort of shady stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
But, okay, well, I mean, the thing that was interesting about this episode is you have all this sort of craziness that's going on with the Rossi, but then it's also kind of like widespread and extends outward to so many other different places because of these characters and these relationships that have been built.
And because of this message that went out. How did anybody believe this?
I guess it's just everyone is so afraid of war breaking out again because they've worked so hard to like create this new form of peace or whatever you want to call it, that I think anything that makes it look like something else is going on, they want to nip that in the bud before something bad happens to them.
But Holden is now part of the OPA. As soon as that message came out, it felt like a fake. I saw it happening and was like, who's going to believe this? It just feels like he might as well have come onto this video and be like, hey, everybody, I'm a fire hydrant. What? It just was so unbelievable that I was really surprised how quickly people were ready to believe anything.
Well, okay, I gotta have a talk with Drummer now. Drummer, we've been friends for a while now.
Have you?
Sure. You know, I mean, you can kill me in like 2 seconds, but still, you know, I'm not trying to criticize you mostly because I know you could kill me in like 2 seconds, but still. Yeah, trust Naomi. She's your friend. She wouldn't stir you. She wouldn't draw you the wrong way. You know, she believes in Holden. You should believe in Holden too. I don't know if being around Ashford is like corrupting your brain or whatever. You're not seeing things clearly,
well,
but
I think in some ways she doesn't believe that this is what's happening. But at the same time, everybody else does. And because of what he said, it is putting the target on her, on her people, on the belt. And that if she doesn't do this, regardless if it's true or not, they're going to be the ones that are going to be right in the middle of it. It's nothing personal. Nothing personal is what it feels like. It's just we have more people over here, and then we have this, and we have to deal with it, and we have 1 minute.
Well, and I think Drummer is also probably looking out for Drummer. I think she's probably looking out for everyone who's working with her. I mean, her and Ashford aren't exactly BFFs, but she's kind of just got to figure out to do whatever she's going to do in this moment, because then there's also Fred, who's, I guess, off somewhere that she has to answer to him eventually, too. So I guess I understand her decision making. I don't like it. This is like one of those sort of things where, you know, you go home to your parents and they're like, you know, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I didn't like it, but I got why she was doing that and where she was coming from. There really wasn't a lot of other choices at this point.
No, but the good news is Holden's not dead. The bad news is
he's at the ring.
He's at the ring. We don't know what exactly is going to happen at the ring, and I think that's why these next few episodes are going to be so interesting, and probably why, you know, if we were watching this when it was airing on Sci-Fi, I think we would be losing our minds at the moment, because we're just like, what have you guys done to our show?
Yep.
And then also sort of being like, and we only have like this tiny handful of episodes to explore all of this.
Yeah, there's not a lot of episodes left here, and this has turned the show completely on its head.
Yeah, it's brought us to a different territory. I mean, there are still certain things I'm wondering about, because like Christian wasn't even really in this episode. She wasn't in that much of the one previous either.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm also kind of missing Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought?
I know! It's a turnaround for me, but I really enjoyed that relationship with Christian and Bobby, and Prax, your guy Prax.
Yeah.
I'm missing this group. This show has a really horrible way of making me love people and then taking them away from me.
Well, don't worry. We're going to, next time we have a big holiday dinner, we're going to invite Prax and Bobby and Christian and Miller in his weird ghostly state, and they will all come over and hang out, and we can exchange stories. But, I like this episode probably even more than the one beforehand. I mean, I'm handling the camera crew aspect, I think, enjoying it more so than you are. But
yeah, I'm not enjoying it. But not only is it just that it's taking me out of the story, because it gets very jarring. I just don't like that these private moments are being spied upon. Instead of me feeling like I'm part of the Rossi crew, I'm basically on the ship with you guys are having these moments and I am part of them. Now I feel like I'm stealing them, and it makes me feel dirty. I don't like it.
Well, here's the good news.
I don't think it's gonna last.
That's exactly what I think. These people are gonna get the old what for coming at some point in the future, especially creepy camera guy.
I will not be unhappy when he gets spaced.
Or punched in the face by Amos, because I feel like there's a 99% chance that is going to happen.
And how many cameras does this guy have? There's like an infinite number of these things that he just keeps pulling out every time somebody crushes them.
Well, here's what we didn't realize. That before Creepy Camera Guy got on the ship, he entered a cheat code that enabled him to have unlimited cameras that he could pull out at any given moment.
Unlimited!
There you go. All right, we'll wrap this video up. But when you guys first saw The Expanse Season 3, Episode 8, what did you think? What did you think was going on with the proto-molecule now? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments, and if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the Carter Matt store, and we'll see you here next time.